John Deere won't tell you this at the dealership, but not every 5055E is the same tractor. This model ran from 2008 all the way through 2022, and across those 14 years, she went through production changes, emissions overhauls, and quiet refinements that can mean the difference between a machine that runs 8,000 trouble-free hours and one that keeps your mechanic on speed dial. After digging through owner reports, service information, and this tractor's full production history, I'm going to break down every era of the 5055E, which years to be careful with, which years mechanics actually trust, and the honest truth about whether any year truly deserves to be avoided. Stay until the end because the verdict ranks all 4 eras from best to worst, and the number 1 pick is probably not the one you'd guess. If straight answers about used iron are worth something to you, hit subscribe and give this video a like. Let's get into it. The 5055E in 60 seconds. Here's what you're actually shopping for. The 5055E is one of the smallest tractors in John Deere's 5E series. The E stands for economy, sitting just above the little 5045E. She runs a 2.9-liter PowerTech 3-cylinder turbo diesel, making 55 engine horsepower, about 45 at the PTO on the open station, and around 41 with the cab, since the cab and air conditioning take their bite. Depending on configuration, she weighs roughly 4,500 to 5,500 pounds, genuine utility tractor mass, which is why owners stepping up from compacts consistently say she feels like twice the machine. 2 transmissions were offered, a basic 9-forward, 3-reverse sync shuttle with collar shift, and the far more desirable 12x12 power reverser, a hydraulic shuttle that swaps forward and reverse without the clutch. The difference between tolerating loader work and enjoying it. And here's the fact that wins bets at the coffee shop. This John Deere isn't built in Iowa or Georgia. The 3-cylinder 5E tractors come from Deere's factory in India, and they have since the model launched in 2008, running until production wound down around 2022. 14 years, 1 name, but not 1 tractor. She changed underneath that paint, era by era. So let's walk through them. Era 1, 2008 to 2012. The early years. Every new model has teething pains, and the early 5055Es had their share, because this was the learning curve era. New factory, new suppliers, new assembly crews, and the bugs got found the only way bugs ever get found, in the customer's field. The record shows it. Owners from these years reported more small quality complaints than any other period, coolant hoses and clamps that looked bottom shelf, which Deere visibly upgraded on later units. Put an early tractor next to a newer one and you can see the difference. Thin paint on castings and fenders that let rust bloom early, so a 3-year-old tractor could look 10. Occasional electrical gremlins and young starter failures, and the serious one, a documented batch of defective rock shafts, the shaft that raises and lowers your 3-point hitch, that forced hydraulic fluid through the relief valve when it shouldn't have. Fluid squeezing through a relief valve constantly turns your hydraulic oil into a frying pan. It overheats, cooks seals, and sends a man chasing mystery heat problems on a tractor that's barely broken in. Deere corrected it with new parts, but 15 years later, the used market holds both the fixed tractors and the never fixed ones, and the serial plate won't tell you which is which. Now, the case for these years is real too. They're the simplest 5055Es ever built. Pre-emissions hardware, fully mechanical, diagnosable with a test light and a pressure gauge instead of a dealer laptop. And they're the cheapest ticket into a genuine 55 horsepower utility Deere, often thousands under the later years. For a hands-on owner with tools, patience, and a light workload, a good one is a good buy. Just understand what you're doing. On this era, you're never buying the model year, you're buying the individual tractor, and you inspect it like the purchase depends on it. Cycle that 3-point over and feel for lazy, uneven lift. Put your hand near the hydraulic reservoir after 15 minutes of work and see what the temperature tells you. Look at the coolant hoses and clamps for the old bottom shelf hardware. Read the rust on the castings, and test every light, gauge, and switch twice. An early 5055E that passes all of that is a genuinely good tractor at a genuinely good price. One that doesn't is somebody else's project, because it does depend on it. Era 2, 2013 to 2015. The maturing years. By 2013, the factory had 5 years of production behind it, and the improvement is exactly what you'd expect from any manufacturing learning curve. The early complaints taper off noticeably in owner reports from this window. The hardware upgrades were in, the rock shaft chapter was closed, assembly quality settled down, and, critically, the tractor still carried a simple emissions setup. No particulate filter demanding regeneration cycles, no diesel exhaust fluid, no exhaust sensors with opinions. Just that little 2.9-liter PowerTech, doing what small Deere diesels have always done. Starting every morning and sipping fuel all day, that makes this arguably the most predictable era of the whole run. Mature enough to have the fixes, simple enough to fix yourself. And there's one specific kind of owner these years suit better than anything built after: the light-duty, irregular user. If your tractor life is 20-minute jobs, cold starts, and long, idle stretches around the barnyard, a pre-emissions filter machine simply fits that duty cycle. There's no exhaust filter quietly loading up while you putter. On the used market, these years are the quiet, smart money, priced below the newer tractors without the early year risk discount. And every independent shop in the country can work on them. Parts support helps the case too. This engine family powers Deere equipment all over the world, so filters, sensors, and wear parts are everywhere and reasonably priced. And there's no dealer-only diagnostic gatekeeping standing between you and a repair. A clean 2013 to 2015 with a power reverser and a folder of receipts might be the best dollar-for-dollar buy in the entire lineup. Quick pause before the best years. We just covered the eras that reward a careful buyer, and the ones coming up are the reason this tractor still has a waiting list of fans. If this breakdown is already sharper than the listings you've been scrolling at midnight, hit that subscribe button and tap the like. It takes a second, and it puts this video in front of the next buyer before the auction does. Alright, the era everybody asks about. Era 2016 to 2020. The refined years. This is the period many owners flat out consider the best 5055E, and the reasons stack up. This is when the tractor grew up. Deere carried the 5E line through the federal final Tier 4 emissions requirements, which brought a diesel oxidation catalyst and a particulate filter with regeneration cycles, the technology that scared everybody in the mid-2000s. Quick explanation for anyone new to it. The filter traps soot from the exhaust, and periodically the tractor runs a regeneration, raising exhaust temperature to burn that soot off. Hard-working tractors barely notice. The exhaust runs hot enough that much of it happens on its own. And here's the honest record. On this tractor, the system proved far less troublesome than the horror stories from bigger, earlier diesels, and it matured quickly. There's even a switch letting the operator postpone a cleaning cycle to finish the job at hand. Critically, these 3-cylinder models never needed diesel exhaust fluid. No urea tank, ever. Meanwhile, the rest of the machine kept improving. The hand throttle moved a full 12 inches closer to the operator's hand on the right console. Loader controls were repositioned for legroom. The power reverser was widely spec'd in this era, along with the shiftable 540 Economy PTO, an underrated gem that delivers proper PTO speed at just 1,600 engine revolutions per minute, cutting fuel, noise, and engine wear on every rake and tedder job. Owner reviews from these years say it plainly. This doesn't feel like an economy tractor anymore. One owner who stepped up from a premium compact wrote that with only 8 more horsepower, it felt like double the machine. The single buyer who should think twice here is that light-duty idler we talked about. Short jobs and months of sitting are the diet that makes any particulate filter cranky, and that owner is honestly better served in Era 2. Everyone else, this is the window to hunt. And when you do, demand the emissions service history. What's been updated? Whether it ever needed a forced regeneration at the dealer. On these tractors, good paperwork is worth more than good paint. And the long-term picture from this era is holding up well in owner reports, with one consistent pattern. The machines that got their shared transmission, hydraulic fluid changed on schedule, and their emission systems serviced properly are aging gracefully, while the neglected ones generate the complaints. Same tractor, 2 futures, decided entirely by the previous owner's habits. Era 4, 2021 to 2022. The last of the line. These are the final 5055S before Deere redesigned its small 5E family into the next generation. And last of a long run is usually a good place to be. Every lesson from 14 years of production is baked in. The advantages are real. The most refined build of the run, the newest components with the least wear, the best odds of remaining warranty or a living dealer relationship, and typically the lowest hours on the market. For the buyer who wants to purchase once, service on schedule, and not think about the tractor for a decade, this is the low-risk play. Worth knowing too, the next generation tractors that replace these move to an updated version of this same 2.9-liter engine, engineered to meet emissions rules without a particulate filter at all, which tells you exactly where Deere thought the pain point was, and it's one more reason these last simple-running DEF-free years should hold their value well, as the market figures that out. But the disadvantages are just as real. Price. First, these carry the newest used premium, and at the top of that range, you start bumping into new tractor territory where financing incentives compete. Depreciation, second. The first owner ate some, but you'll still eat a share the 2014 buyer never will. And functionally, be honest with yourself. A 2021 does the same day's work as a well-kept 2017. You're paying extra mostly for youth and certainty, not capability. That's a legitimate thing to pay for, it's just worth naming out loud. The problems. Every 5055E can have. No matter the year. Now here's the part that separates this video from the listing descriptions, because most 5055E problems aren't year problems at all. They're maintenance problems wearing a model year's clothes, and they cluster into 3 families. The first family lives in the electrical system. Owners across all years report occasional hard starts and starter failures, and the trail almost always leads to the same suspects: a weak battery, corroded connections, high resistance in the starter circuit, or a solenoid giving up. The telltale is a click instead of a crank, or a slow, laboring spin on a cold morning. The repair math is forgiving. A battery, a starter, or cleaned up connections run a few $100s, not thousands. But at buying time, this family matters differently. A tractor that got jump-started before your viewing, or an engine somebody warmed up before you arrived, is a seller hoping you won't see the cold start truth. Always ask for a genuinely cold start. It's the cheapest diagnostic tool you own. The second family, the expensive one, lives in the drivetrain, and everything in it is connected by one detail most buyers never learn. On this tractor, the transmission and the hydraulics share the same oil. Remember that because it's the multiplier behind 3 separate problems. The PTO tends to fail suddenly, the bush hog runs fine Tuesday and stalls under load Wednesday, and the cause is a worn PTO clutch, low hydraulic pressure, or an electrical engagement fault. A slipping clutch sheds friction material into that shared oil, and the debris circulates through everything it feeds. The hydraulics have their own documented quirk. The ball check valve on the 3-point rock shaft sticks on tractors that sit unused, trapping pressure, overheating fluid, and making the hitch lift lazy. The prevention is almost free. Just cycle the 3-point weekly, even empty. And the clutch itself, on sink shuttle tractors especially, wears from riding through every direction. Change on loader duty. Replacing it means splitting the tractor in the middle, a job that commonly lands between $1,500 and $3,000 with labor. See how the family works? Skipped fluid changes, a shedding clutch, a stuck valve. Each one poisons the same reservoir, and the reservoir punishes everything at once. Which is why the single best test on any 5055E in a year is pulling the dipstick and smelling the fluid. Dark and burnt means walk away, and the third family lives at the ends of the tractor. The front axle and the fuel system, the parts that fail from neglect rather than design, on 4-wheel drive units that lived on a loader. The front end carried the bucket's weight, plus everything in it, and kingpins, bushings, and seals wear accordingly. Grease discipline is everything, and a front end refresh is a real bill. Jack the front, rock each wheel, and check whether the grease points show any evidence a human ever touched them. At the other end, this small diesel rewards clean fuel and punishes dirty fuel. Period. Water and debris from bad storage tanks clog filters and then attack injectors, and injectors cost more than years of filters ever will. Rough running, hard starts, and power loss are the symptoms. The seller's fuel storage setup tells you the odds. The prevention costs almost nothing. Buy fuel from a busy station, keep the tank full to fight condensation, and change the filter. The verdict. So, are there John Deere 5055E years to avoid? Here's the truth, said plainly, because most videos in this genre won't say it. There is no universally bad 5055E model year. No era of this tractor carries the kind of designed-in, unavoidable failure that defines a true years-to-avoid case. No self-destructing engine, no ticking time bomb in the transmission. What this model has instead is a rougher early window, from roughly 2008 to 2012, where quality complaints were more common and extra inspection is simply mandatory, and 14 years of production, where the genuinely dangerous purchase isn't any particular year, but any poorly maintained tractor from every year. A neglected 2019 with cooked fluid, a slipping PTO, and a chaff-packed radiator is a far worse buy than a loved 2010 with a folder of receipts. The used market itself proves the point. These tractors trade from the mid-teens to the mid-40s in thousands of dollars, a 3-times spread on one model name, driven far more by condition and history than by the calendar. But if you're standing at the lot asking me where to point first, here's how the eras rank. The 2016 to 2020 tractors are the best overall. The matured, refined machine with the strongest owner satisfaction of the run, no DEF to babysit, and enough of them out there to let you be choosy. If the budget allows, the 2021 and 2022 units buy you everything the refined era offers, plus youth and certainty, and if the checkbook doesn't flinch, neither should you. The best pure value hides in 2013 to 2015, post-teething quality with pre-emissions simplicity, at prices below both newer eras and quite possibly the smartest money on the list for anyone who services their own equipment. And the 2008 to 2012 tractors remain a legitimate budget door into real utility Deere ownership for the patient, hands-on buyer who inspects hard and prices in the risk. Notice the pattern across all four, because it's the same pattern behind every reliable machine ever built, green or otherwise. Proven engineering plus a caring owner beats new technology plus neglect, every single time. The 5055E just happens to be one of the clearest examples of it on the used market today. How to buy one without getting burned? Let me leave you with the advice that matters, and I'll give it to you the way I'd give it to a neighbor over the fence, not as a checklist. When you go look at one of these, the tractor will tell you its whole life story in about 15 minutes, if you know how to listen. Start before you even touch it. Ask for the service records, because a folder of receipts is worth more than any amount of shine, and a seller with nothing written down is asking you to price in the worst case. Insist on a stone-cold start, no warming up before you arrive, and listen to how she lights off, because a healthy one catches quick and a long, laboring crank is the electrical family introducing itself. Then, make the tractor work while you watch, cycle the 3-point through its full travel again and again, and feel for lazy or groaning lift. Engage the PTO against a real load instead of watching the shaft spin free, and shuttle between forward and reverse feeling for slip, shudder, or slamming. Pull that dipstick and put your nose to it. Get underneath with a flashlight and read the ends of the machine, the front axle for play and leaks, the grease points for fingerprints, the belly for drips, because weepage on old iron is normal, but drips are negotiations. And all the while, read the owner in the machine, worn pedals against a low hour meter, a bent drawbar, welded repairs, fresh spray paint on castings, a radiator screen packed with chaff. Every one of those is the previous owner telling on himself. Hours matter less than habits. 2,000 gentle hours beats 800 abusive ones every single time, and the man who greased his front axle probably changed his fluids too. Buy the machine and the story together, or don't buy at all. Do that, and the 5055E is genuinely one of the best values in used green iron, a real utility tractor at a working man's price. From any era on this list, skip it, and you might just buy the one tractor on the lot with the wrong history. Same paint, very different future. If this breakdown saved you from an expensive mistake or pointed you toward a good one, pay it back the cheap way. Hit that like button, subscribe for more honest machinery advice that protects your wallet, and drop a comment telling me which era of 5055E you own and how she's treated you. Because those comments become the research for the next buyer scrolling through here at midnight before an auction. Take care out there.